At Epic Games. So this is kind of like a two-parter. So we just got like a little bit of news that states that Epic Games is when they do their crossplay with all of these systems, the consoles, all that stuff, the PC, whatever. Sony is the only one that's charging Epic Games for that feature to be added to their games.
Yeah,
which is interesting. And then on top of that, you have a list of all of Epic's payout prices that they give to developers, which I thought
and the lawsuit.
Was interesting.
Yeah, what they pay to have a free game on the Epic Store.
Right, yeah.
Right, yeah.
So, like, hey, you got this game. I want to make it free on my Epic Store. We were talking about a couple of pods ago that, know, they have, like, a lot to offer. So it's like, oh, what are they paying these people, to put these games up there?
Yeah.
And then it's interesting, like, how long and
I'm going to
stuff
pull up
like
that list real quick because I missed the prices.
Yeah.
I wanted to see.
But starting off with the first part, with the crossplay, right? Why is it that Sony is the only ones charging Epic Games for this crossplay
BS,
opportunity?
Dude.
Sony is so greedy, man. I hate saying that. It's just been like, we've talked about this before, I think. I feel like this has been like a theme, right? They don't want to have like their PS Vita store open. They want to close that down because not cost effective. Jim Ryan thinks, why does anyone want to play old games, right? Like, it's just really weird. You have to make so much money and get a certain Metacritic score to get renewed for your game. Yeah. Like, we're just seeing like this corporate mentality. And like we were talking about it before, right? Like, where does the line cross? Of course you want profits. Of course you need to make money. Yeah, absolutely. And you want to make boatloads of it, but at what cost? Like, especially when these things get leaked. Like, that does not help Sony's image, you know? Like,
and it seems like a lot of stuff's been getting leaked recently. It almost feels as if somebody has it out for Sony. Because there's been a lot of shit that's been leaking that kind of like would leave a bad taste in your mouth. Right. With Sony, you know what I mean? Especially if you don't care about Sony, you know what I mean? Like, if you don't care about PlayStation or whatever, you're an Xbox lover, it's just more fuel to add to the flames of you hating PlayStation.
The wars, the console wars. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
exactly.
It's just like,
exactly.
Man.
Like, it's weird too how Sony was so against crossplay just in general.
Right.
Is that good or bad? Like,
that's bad, dude.
I don't see why you wouldn't.
Isn't that more revenue for you?
Because you want your experience as good as possible. So when you make a game like Destruction All Stars and you try to look for a game, this is a bad example, but when you're in the lobby and you check all the game types, you're like, damn, I can't find a single match. Let me try again. And the game just came out. And you're like, well, shit. But if it was crossplay and it was on other platforms, you probably would have found a game a little quicker. It's still a bad game, and you're probably gonna still have to wait. But my point is, for multiplayer games, you need to open the gates.
Doesn't it sell consoles too? Like, knowing that if I buy this console, I'm gonna be playing all the cross-gen. I can play everything I want on it.
Play with your friends.
I think it sells
whatever.
games for that console.
Yeah.
Like if I've got an Xbox and I've got a PlayStation, and I know that you've got, FIFA
Rocket
21
League, or even
on your
FIFA.
Xbox.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, do I just get Game Pass then and play FIFA with you? Or could I just get it on my PlayStation and then I still play with you? Oh, well, it's no crossplay, so I got to go over here and get it. Like, or like if you're thinking about Destiny or whatever, like, oh, yeah, Destiny, but I can't crossplay with you because Sony doesn't have that. So I got to go and play it on the Xbox.
It's not just like, it's almost in reverse too. Not only does it make you buy games for your system, but if you don't do that, it makes me feel like I have to go buy another system.
Yeah.
So it almost makes me spend money on the competition.
Right.
Because otherwise I can't play FIFA with you unless I buy an Xbox now, because that's what you have it on.
Yeah, because I tell my father-in-law, like, hey man, when you gonna get a PlayStation? Because he's got the Xbox or whatever, but he doesn't really want to get the PlayStation. He doesn't see the value in it yet or whatever in getting a PlayStation. But like, if I want to play anything with him, I have to play on my Xbox. Yeah. So if I want to play Outriders, I obviously didn't buy the game for my PlayStation, but if I did have it, I would have to move to the Xbox in order to be able to play with him. And if I'm playing anything, I just can't play with him. Like I have, NBA 2K21 on my console, but I gotta go to the Xbox to be able to play it with him. Because it's not crossplay. Like, that type
or
of
like
stuff
Rocket League, or
like,
just any of these games that you want to play with people on other platforms, you can't, which is just weird to me. I don't think it's so cut and dry. Like I think Sony thinks, oh, it's cut and dry. We lose money.
Yeah,
I don't think it is. I don't think it's quite that
or that
cut and
it
dry.
costs them money to be able to enable that.
Yeah,
You're still at the mercy of your internet connection or whatever else.
So Hi-Res Studios that makes Smite, Paladins, a bunch of other Realm Royale, a bunch of other good games. They Gauntlet or what's that? Dauntless.
Oh, Dauntless. Yeah.
Okay. They're great at crossplay. They were one of the first ones that did crossplay on everything except for Sony. So one of my Smite accounts, it's only for Sony. I can't. If I log in my account on anything else,
it's so frustrating.
I can't access it.
It's
so
my
Sony account was different than all the other platforms. All the other platforms share my stuff.
Yeah.
But Sony is still locked in.
So you have one character that you were only able to progress solely on the Sony.
So yeah, I have one account on Smite and then one account on everything else. So it's just I always wondered why they did that. I was like, it's not obviously not a technical limitation because even the Switch, even Nintendo,
they want a cut of the
but no, they want it as part of the money. Yeah. They want it's all has to do with the money. If they didn't get royalties, because that article we were reading, it was like if a player who
it was showing the percent, like how they calculate it,
who plays like 85% on the PlayStation, let's say they download the phone version or a different version, and they happen to make a purchase on that version, right? They want their cut.
It's like if it exceeds 60%, right? So like. If you're playing 95% of your gameplay on the PlayStation, but 60% or more of your purchases are coming on, let's say, your phone, because let's say, oh, I want this thing, so you just pull your phone up and purchase it, then Epic has to give you a cut
That's some bull.
Right.
of that purchase if it exceeds that. But how dumb, dude.
Because what if you got to give
or you can't have crossplay on our system.
Dude, that is
just figuring out any way to nickel and dime it. And that's the issue that Epic is having right now with Apple, right? Is that they didn't want for you to just bypass buying any like Fortnite bucks or whatever on the iOS to go to the Epic Game Store and purchase Fortnite bucks, and then you're able to use them while you play it on your Apple phone. You know, Apple wants a cut of it or whatever. So that's why Apple said Fortnite can't be on my iPhone right now until you fix this because I want the cut. Right. Like, why are these businesses so worried about it? Like, it's all about accessibility. So, I mean,
that was a little different because Epic like offered a way in the app to bypass the store.
Well, the way that I think
it's like shiesty, a little shiesty.
Yeah, I think the issue that Apple was having with Epic was that they were making it for a cheaper price to buy it in the Epic Game Store than on the iOS. So it incentivizes you to stop playing for a minute, go to the Epic Game Store, purchase the V-Bucks. So now they're over here in the Fortnite game, and you bought them for a little bit cheaper. So it's like, oh, because you're doing that now, you're trying to lead them off of my store to make sure that I don't get a cut.
And wasn't there like branding or messaging or something like within the app too, kind of like encouraging people to leave?
I think they tweeted some stuff
or something like that. Yeah,
they would tweet their advertisement to like go to the Epic Store.
They were like really aggressively trying to make you avert the Apple Store,
right? Because
which
they
is
don't
why
feel
I understand
like
Apple's position on that. You know, like just hey, dude, if they're on our store and they want to buy our store, let them buy it. You know, like why do you have to be that way? Like I get that. So it's a little different. Where
it's because Epic wanted all of the money.
Epic wanted all the money
from the V-Bucks sales.
So it's hard for me to shed a tear for Epic because they're kind of just as greedy in some ways.
Yeah.
But it is a weird little thing Sony wants.
Yeah, they're all wanting these little pieces of the pie. And stuff like that, and so they're all battling with it. The only thing that's like crazy to me is how they're like coming up with this ratio of like 95%, 60%. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. Like it's just all profit for you. Like, what does it hurt you? You didn't develop the game. You didn't make it. Just put it on your system.
They're the ones that added a market.
People will spend money on your store.
Yeah,
they're the ones that come on.
If anything,
it's just money for
I would be charging them like the you know how like sometimes you go to like a gas station like AM/PM, and you want to use your debit card. There's a 35-cent fee for using your debit card on there. Just put some type of fee like that on there. Yeah. Like if you purchase it like through my store or whatever, they're getting charged, a certain amount or something like that. Like I don't know.
Something.
You don't need to take like
but it's like Sony grabs the one thing they can control, their platform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, dude.
Yeah, and I would say Sony, you're in the position that you're the top dog, so you can do this. But be careful because, you know, Microsoft tried doing this crap a couple years ago too with their, you can't, you know, your used games, or they tried doing some shicey stuff too. And look what happened to them. They lost the console war for that gen. And they're still trying to dig themselves out. So you guys can.
That was a deep hole, dude.
You guys, I'm not saying you're on your way, but if you're not careful, you know.
Well, Fortnite is not available on the iOS still. So,
wow. They're still fighting.
So regardless, you know, obviously Fortnite feels that they can do this fight or whatever, and that they don't need the iOS sales or the downloads or whatever to be able to stay afloat. Now, can they alienate themselves from Sony as well, to where you're only offering it on Android phones, PC, and Xbox? I don't know, because I feel like there's a lot of people that play Fortnite on the PlayStation.
There is. It's the number one.
So you'd be killing.
It's the number one platform.
You've already killed your iOS base, and now you'd be killing your Sony base if you're having, if your issues happens, with right? Sony decides to escalate to like, okay, well, we're not going to have you on my store then.
Right.
So then it's like, okay, damn.
I know.
So in this setup, Sony has a lot more leverage power
because they're the number one platform.
But I mean, iOS, you know, I mean, there's a lot more people playing on Apple phones than there is on Android. Yeah. So you'd think that would matter too.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, they have not seen eye to eye, and it's staying that way. So I'm interested to see exactly how far this will go, because then we'll probably see Fortnite change its tune. Maybe it's not free anymore. Maybe
they're
it's
both massive corporations fighting each other. You know, both are not necessarily. I'm not rooting for either one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it is a little bit weird that Sony. I don't know.
And
it's frustrating. And Apple and Epic.
That they just want they literally created this game for free, and then they created some way to get money on the back end. Now, all they're doing is they pay the publishing price to get their game for free onto your service, and then they want to collect money. So, like, why do you have to have your hands in that if all you're doing is allowing it to be published on your phone, on your server, you know, and be downloaded? Like, I don't understand why Sony needs any kind of the back end money. I understand that there's a lot of money there to be had.
That's why.
But why do you feel like you're entitled to have it on there just because they're going through you? Yeah. I guess, like, why don't you just work out a deal?
They want their percentage.
Like, make your payment amount for publishing a game on my site more.
Didn't they say too, like, how much money it was? It was like tons of money.
It was a ton of money that Apple was trying to get out of.
Yeah, but also what Epic was having to pay Sony.
Yeah.
See, I don't think Epic wants that fight, which is why they do it. They pay Sony their cut because PlayStation is such a big platform for them. They need it badly. Clearly, Apple isn't quite there. But I'm a little shocked too about how well their relationship is. Like I heard
them to be battling about
this. I heard Epic was like when they were negotiating crossplay and stuff. Like in the articles we were reading, that they were really trying to phrase it to make Sony look like a hero. You know, like you're opening the world up.
Doesn't Sony own a small part of Epic?
Yeah, they own.
They do have a lot of money in Epic.
Yeah, they just did another one we just talked about, the 500
they just
million
did like 4 point something mil or whatever in that. But like that also makes me wonder, like, why is this even a discussion? You own part of Epic.
It's what's funny to me. They have like this great relationship, but they're at each other's necks here on this. It's just funny. I don't know what to.
Maybe
think
that's
of
why
it.
Sony started buying more of Epic.
They'll sign our contracts no matter what.
Oh, you ain't agreeing to my terms? I bet.
See, that's what I'm worried about with Discord too. Like Sony playing this whole game, you know. Yeah. You can't go on Xbox's platform, you know, if you want to come on ours.
I hope they don't do that.
It's so frustrating.
I would say luckily Discord there's less to lose because it's mainly a free service. So there's not much money. There is a service in it, but I would say there's not a lot of big bucks in it yet. But who knows when
it's just a perk, traded, right? It's just a perk, when it's who knows?
Then they might charge you. We have to pay a monthly subscription for this crap.
Yeah, exactly.
So you want to unlock it for all your consoles?
Exactly. It becomes a PS Plus option, right? So unless you have PS Plus, you can't use it. Just to get people to spend more money.
Dude,
yeah. What's interesting though is this little devs list that
I was gonna say, like, what do you think about some of these prices?
Yeah, all these
devs list.
I can't believe they're so low. Jeez, they're getting some.
I thought they were low too, Mark.
Dude, for the indies, they're like
$50K and stuff like that.
Dude,
like,
I thought some of these were low.
They got some good deals,
and some that were high that I thought would have been lower.
But I'm thinking that it's probably like a low amount of effort that was put into some of these indie games that they've got.
I just don't understand prices, right? Like,
but they got a couple of $1 million ones.
Batman
was
like only $1 million to give it away for free.
That's crazy.
1.5
I would
mil.
think that would take a lot of money in licensing when they first created the game.
But it's also Arkham, man. It's Batman Arkham, so it's been out for a while.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, hey, you want a little bit extra money? Let me get that game so I could put it on there for free. You know.
What about For Honor? Ubisoft, only $63,000.
Dude,
away for free.
How much was For Honor getting anyways? Because wasn't it for free on the PlayStation Plus?
Yeah, it was a pretty popular game though, right? It was like
when it was announced.
I really liked For Honor. I bought it on Xbox and PC. The reason why they can give that game away for so cheap is because there's so much nickel and diming in game, season passes, classes. So you can get the game for free, but then you got to buy all that crap. So
that must be why some of these are like that, are cheap like that. Because like it was $0 for Metro 2033.
That one doesn't make sense because
$0 here. Just give it away. They must, for some reason, that studio just wanted people to play it. I guess they would get like
just
new accounts, right?
Metro Redux, right?
Yes. Yeah, that one doesn't make sense.
The $0 is definitely interesting though.
But a lot of these are like in the six-figure range, like.
I wish there was a more recent
$450K for Moonlighters. They're happy, right? Moonlighters is happy with that.
I would be.
The developers are happy.
And then
with
they got
purchase,
paid.
right?
They got paid also to get it on Game Pass.
Whoever bought it, to get on Game Pass. So.
Yeah, if you're an indie developer, you might have seen like a cool 1-point-something million. You know,
you got to be happy. That's a little. You're an indie developer. We would be happy. Right? Imagine if we made a game.
I'd have to see how many people actually worked on Moonlighters.
Right? Like we'd be ecstatic for that. But some of these down like the 45, 60K seems low to me.
Jackbox Party Pack. I'm sad I missed that.
It's like 50K,
I bought
right?
That game and I love. Yeah, it was like 60K, 50K.
Doesn't that seem that's so low?
That's low, dude. That's a great game.
That's low, a great game. Dude.
I know Joe bought the whole pack for like $80. He bought every one. Those are great games.
That's crazy to me.
It's a good deal.
Like some of these prices. What impact do you think this has on future negotiations? Like, do you think like Meat Boy goes like, gosh, all we got was 50K and Subnautica got $1.5 million?
I would say now that it's publicly available,
Meat Boy
it's
also
not
looks
good
different than Subnautica.
They're just gonna low blow people now. Like, oh, you see,
because
Meat Boy, that was a Metacritic 990.
Yeah, Meat Boy was a super highly rated game.
Yeah.
That sold lots of copies.
What Remains of Edith Finch was a banger.
Oh yeah, that was
nothing.
125,000. That was a banger, dude. Yeah, like that's so weird.
So I would say set the bar low. I wish they didn't release that. Jeez Louise.
It's really interesting seeing the negotiations.
But I wish
games.
There's a more modern list because now they're giving a lot more newer and a lot more like high end games. Like
you don't want to see those games.
What's a Mutant Year Zero, dude?
I love that game.
Really?
It's amazing. Remember
$1 million for that.
It's the XCOM. It's the XCOM style like stealth game.
Oh.
It's the Road
I think
to
you
Eden,
were telling me about. You were telling us about that.
That game's amazing.
Yeah.
I wish I got that one on the PC.
Okay, that was free on Epic.
Because that one's on Game Pass.
Well,
okay, that's on Game Pass.
Yeah, I mean, some of these guys are getting paid out good. I would like to see what the payout is for games to get on Game Pass. That's the list.
That's what I want to see.
Because I want to see like why there's so many games just agreeing to put them to get on there. You know what I mean? And for
I'm thinking it might be similar.
Yeah, like we pay you a check and then
this is probably close. Yeah. I bet you Moonlighters got close to this too.
Well, Moonlighters has like 101 people at 11-bit studios, so
they made lots of money.
It's 101. Like I don't know how much it sold when it originally came out, but if you're getting 450 from Epic.
So you're getting $1 million between Epic and Game Pass. Which is not a bad payday.
Is that like enough for?
Well, plus all your sales.
People? Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on how many years it took to develop that.
Yeah, and Moonlighters was never on PlayStation, right? For free or anything like that.
I don't think so.
So maybe the sales. I don't know. But
I don't know, man.
101 people. That's a lot of people, man. So
yeah,
I'm wondering.
You're
if that
not
was
quite
lucrative
those two things. You're not quite giving your guys a living wage for a year. For all of them.
That's cheap, dude.
Because let's say
you
take like $1 million.
I thought Moonlighters would have been made by fewer people than that.
Yeah.
That seems like way too many people to me.
1.5 mil, right? And you divide that by 101 people. That's $14,000.
Yeah, it's not.
So
enough.
That would be like your salary.
Yeah, it's nothing.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
I don't know.
I hate to say this, but I mean, this is why. I mean, this is why all the games are monetizing inside themselves. You know, we're seeing all these little transactions and things. So when they get to the crossroad, hey, do you want to give our game away for free on PS Plus, Epic, Game Pass? At least when they get lowballed, they have a back door to make a little bit of money.
That's what I think it is. Like, for instance, Super Meat Boy, two guys made that game.
Yeah.
So when you see 50K, it's like, okay, they each made 25 grand. And this came way after it's been released, so they're just finding additional ways to make money.
And they were selling. They actually
hits
put physical copies, I think, of Super Meat Boy.
Yeah, like let's get a hit from Xbox, let's get a hit from here, and we'll just, push out the value of our game a little further. But that does seem low. I feel like they could have negotiated a little better than 50,000 for Super Meat Boy.
It makes you wonder though, like let's say this is completely different, but like something like Netflix. I wonder how much they pay for some of those shows.
Yeah, it makes
is
us
it
wonder.
This little?
Yeah,
or is it like more?
Hey, just a quick question before we go. MiHoYo. So they're the ones who did Genshin Impact. I was just curious, right? Okay. So Genshin Impact, great looking game.
MiHoYo.
Free 99 on all consoles. How many employees do you think?
At least 100.
I'm curious, man. How many? 1,000?
At least 100.
2,400.
Wow,
dude, it makes sense.
As of 2021, it's 2,400. Now,
it freaking makes
when
sense,
Genshin Impact came out, I don't know, but that game is free, and all they've got is the in-game purchases, right? To be able to fund their stuff. Now, I don't know if this is like a subsidiary of something else, but their headquarters is also in China.
Yeah, makes sense.
So, they can afford low wages.
Yeah.
Well,
their cost of living is much lower.
Their cost of wage for high skill.
14,000 would be plenty.
But I mean, for them to produce Genshin Impact, it's a lot of people. Like, can your company sustain strictly off of in-game purchases?
A free to
Genshin
game.
can.
Yeah. No, that's why it's a
I'm
crazy
interested to
business
see
model.
if they'll create something else. You know what I mean? Like, if there's a Genshin Impact 2, or Genshin Impact just keeps on creating stuff, then you know that this company's got 2,400 people.
Yeah.
Like, and they can sustain.
Yeah.
So where's the rest of y'all at? You know what I mean? Like, all these.
It's crazy to think too, like how many people it takes to make that game.
Yeah. But they're also not just making it, but they're constantly adding things to it.
Yeah.
They're always adding new characters. Now,
it.
Granted, like the characters kind of have like the same types of abilities after a certain point. They just may have like a different art style. But the fact that they keep on updating and adding the game, to the game, just makes the people who really love it want to come back and, I want to play that character too, or whatever. She looks dope. Let me try her.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
But that's all we got for you guys this week. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Put down in the comments if you think Sony is broke, man. Because it's with a lot of the moves that they making, they seem like they trying to penny pinch at every little corner. I don't know what it is, but they got broke mentality moves right now that they doing, and they need to change that stuff. We need to boot Jim Ryan ass up out of here.
I wish,
and
man.
Get Sean Layden back if that's the case. I don't know, but yeah, so don't forget about the giveaway. If you guys haven't commented yet, go ahead, drop a comment in there, just for the giveaway. We're still going strong on that. It's 2 weeks in, so we got another 2 weeks or whatever of it. So, stay tuned with that. Subscribe also if you haven't yet. And until next week, we'll catch you guys later. Deuces.
Peace.
See ya.
I love you, me.